Alright, so we want to get photos of the packaging first. So we want to grab a photo of the front, the sides and the back. Once we have all that, we want to get details on the item itself. So we want to get the brand name, the item name, what the item itself actually is. We want to get what it can hold, so in this case it's 1 kilogram. And we also want to get the barcode details, so we want to record that number just there. On top of that, we want to get the packaging type. In this case, this will be soft, like a soft plastic pouch, so we want to record that as well. Alright, next we want to get the dimensions of the packaging. We want to grab the height of the product, so from the very top to the bottom. We want to grab the width, and we want to grab the depth, so across there. Not only that, but if we have a plastic, like resealable pouch packet, like this one, we actually want to get the distance from where it tears to the very top, so that sort of little area there. And then that will give us a new height from the opening to the bottom. So we want to make sure the measurements are all in millimeters. So the next thing we want to do is, for a product like this, we want to make sure it's settled and level here. This measurement we want to get is the distance from the top of the product to the opening up here. So this area, kind of there, to the top of the pouch. The next part is we want to measure the contents of the packaging. So here we've got something that's dry, so that means we're going to measure it in grams. If we had something that was wet, like a liquid, we would be measuring it in millimeters. So what we want to do is get a bowl that's big enough to hold the contents. Put that on our scales. Once it's on our scales, we want to tare it, so it's at 0. Like that. And then we want to pour the contents of this into that bowl and get the weight of the contents. Pour it in carefully. This bowl will just hold it. Just there, and then that should give us a weight of the content. Right, next we want to measure the volume that the packet itself, like the empty packet, can hold. Because this is a plastic packet, we're actually going to be filling it up with water. If we had a cardboard packet or something like that, we'd be filling it with flour or sand. And because it's water, we're going to get the measurement in milliliters this time. If it was filled with flour or sand, we would be measuring it in grams. So we'll be using our scales to measure in milliliters, or we can actually use the measurements on here if you don't have a scale that has that, and we can measure it that way. Might be a bit. Alright, so we have the empty packet, so the first thing, again, we want to do is place it on the scales. And we want to tare that so it's at 0 again, like so. Alright, so we want to fill up our measuring cup now. So although the scales we're putting in, we want to just make note of what we're getting from the jug as well, just to be sure. Alright, so we want to fill this up, and to the point where we can still close it at the top. So we want to make sure we're recording all those measurements along the way. Not only that, but we want to take photos of every step of the process as well. The more information we have, the better.